أيها المطر أحب الوفاء بشتى الصور أحب الوفي الأمين الأغر فأهل الوفاء كلون السحاب وحسن الربيع وماء المطر مقامهم فوق رأس الجبال وفوق الروابي وعند القمر ويا من تحب غياب الوفاء رأيتك تهوى.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening and welcome to Echoes of the Grey Street Casbah with Brother Faizal MJ Suleman and me, Buddy Govender. We will take you on a journey through the heart of Durban's Grey Street, sharing stories, memories, and of course, vibrant spirits of this iconic neighborhood. Let's stay tuned in for a flavorful mix of culture, nostalgia, and of course, community engagement as well. It is Friday night. It is now 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to Casbah Echoes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Faisal, how are you?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, buddy. Alhamdulillah, all well. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all our esteemed listeners. A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wal aqbatul muttaqin was salatu was salam ala rasulihil kareem Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. All praise due to Allah, the Lord, cherisher, nourisher, sustainer and master of the universe, the most gracious, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Ya Allah, it is only you that we worship and it is your guidance that we seek. Ya Allah, keep us on the straight path. Ya Allah, show us the choice of blessings. Ya Allah, show us your mercy. Ya Allah, guide us. Greetings, salam, salutations in our beloved Nabi Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Yes, it is Let's Chat you're listening to, and of course it's Echoes of the Grey Street Casbah, as Buddy had mentioned. And Buddy, I think Friday night's a night we all look forward to, because we take a casual, nostalgic trip into the past.
Absolutely. I think also it brings a big smile to lots of people sitting out there that all come from there. Faisal, two things, okay, that we know guaranteed in life, okay. You're born, two milestones in life. You're born and you pass away. But there's one more milestone that happens in most people's lives, are weddings.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes,
it's a milestone. But weddings in the Casbah, Faisal, was extremely different. Different from wedding. In fact, weddings those days compared to weddings today is totally different. Today, you got to know about how much you have. The hall itself is going into 6 digits.
Yes,
just for the hall. Special in the Casbah, Faisal. We know those days. Who was invited, Faisal?
Everybody.
The entire family meant the neighbors, the relatives, the uncle that owned the tea room across the road, his whole family, the priest and his family, all your friends, doesn't matter what religion they are.
Yes.
And also if they had cousins staying on holidays, they were also
welcome.
invited.
Yes, they're welcome. They're welcome.
I mean, what a big change.
Look at the barakah, the blessings. I mean, and the atmosphere that prevailed at the time.
I mean, absolutely. Nobody stood at the door and looked at your invitations. And as for invitations, we're going to talk about that just now. But nobody looked at the invitation. You walked in. You were welcomed. It was an important part of you being there.
Yes.
On that particular day for the bride and bridegroom. And most cases, Faisal, we knew both the bride and the bridegroom, because they must have been from the area.
From the district, as you put it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
There were some, as we call it, import jobs as well.
Oh, yeah.
Imported from overport.
Yeah, overport. Absolutely. Yeah. But most cases, it was like two families that lived maybe even in the same block of flats, or lived in a flat across the road or 2 streets down, one from Prince Edward, that got together and even made the family that we had even more intertwined. Although we were still family, but marriage brought people together.
The bonds strengthened. They strengthened. The bonds were strengthened. As such. Yeah.
But we've got such good memories to talk about, Faisal. The wedding itself was special. The venue in those days was either going to be Anjuman School, Orient Hall, Vedic Hall,
Juma
exactly.
Masjid,
Absolutely.
The whole Cathedral Road, yes.
Yes, it was all these small little venues. The one thing about all those venues, apart from Orient, was there was no parking.
But then how many of us had cars?
Well, that just said it.
Yeah.
People would also come through from out of town if the girl or the boy was from out of town with the bus.
Yep.
There'll be one bus organized by the family, and they would then ship them down into town. But we'd like to hear from all those people out there, Faisal. So let's give them the WhatsApp line. Let's remind them. Come on, guys. We want to hear from you tonight.
060-904-1056. 060-904-1056. A message has come through from a sister Rashid already.
That's right.
Says, Salams. It was called a Kit Kat wedding. Yes, of course.
You know why Kit Kat?
Yes,
we all got this Kit Kat.
We all got your chocolate. You come in your droves. We all got a chocolate for you.
Hey, and who didn't leave with a Kit Kat? There was there's no shortage of Kit Kats. They were everybody got one.
You left with more than one on a couple of occasions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So please do WhatsApp us your memories of weddings in the Casbah. You must have been involved in one of them. Did you have a wedding in the Casbah? Did any of your relatives have a wedding? Did you go to one? Were you invited or were you just a walk-in? We'd love to hear from you. Faisal gave you the number, so please.
060-904-1056. I like the way you say, were you just a walk-in?
Absolutely.
Because you had a choice there. You knew the bride and the groom, so you could be from either side.
Look, even if you weren't invited, most times you knew somebody there. If you like we were from town, so you would just walk in, sit down on one side, or looked around where you knew your friends were sitting, go and sit there. And what were you waiting for, Faisal?
A chocolate.
And the chow.
Oh yeah, the chow. That's another story,
Isn't that the main part of the wedding?
That's another story. Yeah, of course.
The one memory I have of weddings in Anjuman School or Juma Masjid was the trestles, the way they would lay the trestles. There would always be one uncle. He was in charge of the overall. He was like the GM, the general manager. He would say, pull the tables or clear this one out, bring the water here. But the way they laid those tables was an art. Those rolls of white.
The trestle paper.
One guy was on the other side.
Just roll it across.
And accurately.
And the other guys are just flinging the paper plates.
Have you ever seen that trestle fall off the table? No, it rolled directly to the other side. The guy stopped it, cut it with his hand, no knife, cut it with his hand, and then within seconds, plates were laid.
Yeah, they just flung across.
Cups were there. The soji or whatever. What kind of memories?
We got a message from Junaid.
Brother Junaid says, top chow, trestles and paper plates. We need to go back to basics. So many divorces enjoying the show. Jazakallah. That's good stuff, Junaid. Indeed, trestles and paper plates. We need to go back to basics. Would they have a wedding today with trestles and paper plates, Faisal?
Definitely not. I can't say, but look, it does happen just that the paper plates have become very fancy.
Oh yeah. No, we're talking about that. But that pack you just
open the pack, throw the plastic into a bin and bring the plates across.
Yeah. But before plates, Faisal, banana leaves.
Yeah.
You ever been to a wedding and eaten on a banana leaf?
Yes, in some traditions had the use of banana leaves. Yes.
The food tasted good, eh?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Especially when they poured the dal over whatever they served, because that was traditional, I think.
Okay. Now let's go course by course here. Okay. Because the one thing that was common on all three courses was the same banana leaf.
Yep.
So you would have, let's say, soji first.
Yep.
Okay. When you finish the soji, they didn't give you a new banana.
No.
They just put the rice and the dal on top of that. And what a kick that gave it, eh?
Of course.
And then the guys that were walking around with the water jugs.
Yeah.
They would be pouring the water.
But they have to be shouting water.
Oh, yes. Come. But they'd be pouring the water, Faisal. And you eating, and he's pouring for the guy next to you. And that thing is dripping down the back.
Well, it's all part of the fun, eh?
Absolutely.
Brother Asad Akbar sends a message. Salams. I've been to lots of weddings, and the best wedding a year ago we really enjoyed this this message, we really enjoyed. The best wedding a year ago, we really enjoyed.
Okay.
This message comes from Muhammad Asad Akbar of Reservoir Hills.
Okay. Well, a year ago. That's interesting. Maybe they had the old style wedding. But today we're not seeing those things.
Yep.
So we had these what were they? Polystyrene cups, eh?
Yep.
Or these little plastic cups.
Polystyrene cups.
And paper plates, no knives and no forks.
What's that?
What
was that?
You ate with your hands.
use your fingers.
Yep. Well, our brother Faizal Saiba knew he'll come in. He says, fondly remember the wooden trestles and the wooden chairs. Yep.
Yeah.
Also the weddings at Barath Hall, Prince Edward Street. Also remember walk-in lunch at the weddings, and rest assured the chows were halal.
Yeah.
All vegetarian chows. Indeed. Do you remember those wooden chairs and trestles?
Yes, I can picture them.
And they would have like a stamp behind or a name, and like my hill
or something.
Okay. Those wooden trestles, wooden thing, that was just state of the art back in the day. And brother Faisal, in Short Street, you'll remember the hall. There was a hall in Short Street, St. Aidan's. St. Aidan's Hall, and they would have weddings there as well. And Faisal, that where the hall is now, is vacant. It's a car park. I was on there about a month ago taking some photographs and what have you. But that place was hosting lots of weddings on a Sunday.
In Short Street,
now, exactly. Think about that. Short Street, no parking, a dead end.
In fact, Faisal just spoke about that right now, not forgetting the splinters from the chairs.
Yes.
And what about the weddings at St. Aidan's Hall?
Faisal knows what I'm talking about because he knows we were there. He was there and I was there because Faisal and them lived there, and my granny lived as well in Short Street.
Okay.
And that hall across the road fed the whole street on a Sunday morning. Yeah, indeed. Well, we're talking about weddings in the Casbah. And what was the standout thing for you at that wedding? And what was the memory of those weddings that today, when you go to weddings, although it's much more fancier today, just doesn't have that feeling of the days when we used to go to weddings, Faisal?
So, Buddy, do you remember the red hat, like a Turkish kind of hat that you would wear, and the garland that you used to wear?
Yes.
And then everybody has a little rose as well, a carnation kind of thing.
On their lapel.
Yeah, lapel, that's the groom's family kind of
family. Then you know who's the family as such.
Yes. And they took a lot of pride in that.
Yep. Faisal, what about the night before the wedding?
It was fun.
Anjuman school.
It was fun. But what was very important at the time, in fact, the week before the wedding, the entire family was busy peeling potatoes, sorting the onions out. In fact, the aunties used to be grinding the masalas for the stuff. Some of them were washing the rice. And, it was like an entire week of festivities.
Maybe sounding like a stuck record. But I'm just trying to think of our young ladies doing that today. Sitting down all together, and it wasn't all about the work, Faisal.
Yes.
It was also a good catch-up session.
Camaraderie.
Yes, the gossips, was going around.
Exactly.
It was going quicker than WhatsApp.
And there was lots of traditional stuff that they used to do.
Yeah.
Preparation of different types of food, and stuff like that. Yeah. And people used to look forward to it.
Yeah. And whilst the ladies were all doing that, the guys were also.
No, we also had responsibilities. Besides playing Tanya at the back, we also had responsibilities.
That's what I was about to say. The guys were also busy in inverted commas doing absolutely nothing. Sort of just standing around and chatting and talking about now, next week or this one's wedding. Yeah. We don't have that anymore, Faisal.
But Buddy, we had that uncle that came and said, "Stop loitering around and carry this for the aunties, and you can take this there. Get this sorted out."
There was always one uncle that was the general manager. He would be jacking all us out to come down, pick up the coolies, come upstairs, carry the crates, carry this or move that, and he never said it in a nice tone.
No.
It was always like, what's wrong with you guys? You lazy boys.
Yeah. Come, make it fast.
There you go.
Even if there was no rush.
Yeah, Faisal, we hear you about St. Aidan's Hall.
Yes.
And did anybody lose their patience or get upset?
No, it was all part. It was all part of the festivities, part of the fun, and you accepted it. You expected that uncle come and make a noise.
Yeah.
And if he didn't make it, if you didn't do that, then something was wrong. You were upset he didn't do it, kind of thing.
Anjuman School, St. Anthony's Hall, Vedic Hall, Orient Hall. Bolton Hall on the corner of Prince Edward Street and Albert Street.
Yes. And then Bolton Aryan Hall also,
right.
I think
Carla Street, Temple Hall. There were so many venues around the Casbah, and they were all wedding venues.
Yep.
Well, there was a lot of things that happened on that day. As you said, cousins, aunties, friends, neighbors, cleaning the dal or the rice, cutting the vegetables.
People from out of town also came.
Oh, yes. And they stayed over.
They stayed over in your flat or in your home.
Yeah.
And the mattresses were all over the floor.
Yep.
I see Faisal Sahibs on the road today say the cooks used to come home and make the chows in the backyard. Yep.
Oh, yep, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, Faisal will know. He knows. I know. I was waiting for Faisal to come because brother Faisal is my brother from Short Street as well. We grew up there in a way, and we saw these things happen. What a sight it was also, Faisal, to see like 4 digs on fire.
Yep.
Being cooked. And let's face it, biryani cooked on a dig, on an open fire, is totally different from biryani cooked on the stove.
Yep.
There's just something about that gives it a special taste. And yeah, we need to. There's another message from Assad.
Okay, the first thing they make from
Junaid. He says, what about the pictures? Yep, indeed. All the photographers and whatever. The best wedding was at Sunkissed restaurant last year. Okay, so brother Assad, you've been going to quite a few recent weddings, and
we are 40 years before that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I don't know if we're on the same era, but if it was, that's good stuff. We're very pleased. What about invites, Faisal?
They were very special. In fact, that was, people took pride in invites.
Yeah, but it was simple as well compared to today.
Yeah, no, you had those simple invites, you had those fancy cards as well. Yeah. And of course, some of them went the extra mile. Like I remember, we just discussed back to the show. I mean, there were invites that went out on a CD.
Yeah.
The invites
not CD. No CDs at that time.
No.
7 singles.
7 singles.
Yeah,
my apologies.
exactly.
7 singles. Yeah, 7 singles. My apologies. I think that was you call it the 45 or
45.
Yes,
that's
yes,
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they went out on that, and I remember. Yeah, the invites went out, and they had some nice. Well, that time we used to call it kasida.
Oh yeah.
Now they probably call it nasheeds and things like that.
Yeah.
That played, and the invite was.
A special guy. Voice saying, you and the family are invited.
Absolutely special. It was nice.
But all in all, I remember when you'd go to those little printers in the lanes in Victoria Street.
Yes.
The wedding invitation was obviously their bestseller. So they would have a board, or they would have like a glass, and under the glass will be a whole range of wedding invitations. Can you see it? I know you can probably see it in your mind. There will be like a whole range of wedding invitations as samples. So you can actually see, ones that they've probably done. And you could actually see what type of invite you wanted. And initially, it was just a normal card. With the nice writing. Then it became this like double fold, and then it became like a pyramid with the card inside. And then it really, today it's gone, people go overseas just to buy the box or get the invite made overseas in a special box, and they bring them back. And when you get that invite, you don't want to throw that. You want to keep it because it's something special as well.
Ornamental value.
Back then, it was just a...
Faisal says the invites read, the bus will leave the bride or bridegroom's residence at. Yes, that was important.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, the bus ride itself
was special.
Yeah.
The conversation, the uncles.
And the aunties used to sing these Gujarati songs and that,
Yeah.
And they used to have fun, and it was terrific.
I don't know where I was, but I have a memory of going in one of those buses to Stanger.
Yeah.
And there was one uncle sitting in the back that had a violin.
Okay.
And he was playing that thing. And you know what? Although to us youngsters, we didn't really bother about violin, but on that trip, that's all you had. And it was such a good vibe. As you say, all the ladies singing.
The aunties are singing their songs, and
uncles are talking. And then occasionally they'll talk about people that are no more in the Casbah, big people. That gives you a bit of an insight into the history as well, back in the day. And those bus trips were fantastic. Faisal's quite right. The invite does say the bus will leave the bride and groom's residence at 2:00 or something like that.
And I don't think left later than 2:30.
Yeah. And got there on time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, wherever
they waited
the wedding
for us.
was.
They waited for us. And all they had to do was delay the service of the Kit Kats.
They gave the Kit Kat when? At the end of the wedding, when you were walking out or something.
Yes. 060-904-1056. Share your experience with us. I'm sure that you can recall. You have memories of those beautiful days when we had those weddings. You attended those weddings. The camaraderie, the spirit, the atmosphere. Talk to us about it.
Yep.
So much to discuss. 060-904-1056.
There's a message from Sister Aisha. She says, Salams, enjoying your show. My sister got married in Juma Masjid in Cathedral Road. I remember all the town came to eat, uninvited, and helped to feed. It was soji, dal and rice, mango pickle, and salads.
Yeah.
And Sydney, the famous photographer, took out the photos.
Yes,
exactly.
yes. Mhm.
That is such a good message. Let's
Absolutely.
just break that one down. Juma Masjid, we all know that
Yeah.
one in Cathedral
No,
Road.
what used to happen is that the weddings taking place for the weekend. On the Thursday night at the Juma Masjid Hall, they have to have a get together for the ladies. It's either a lecture or a khatam or a maulud or something. That was like traditional.
Yeah.
And
And the hall was downstairs. Remember,
Yep,
as you
Cathedral
walked
Road,
in.
Cathedral Road, yes.
You walked in.
Yes, and now they had weddings there as well.
Yeah.
And as Sister Aisha says that, it was a free for all.
I'm going to tell you a funny thing now, Faisal. So a very close friend of mine got married there. You'll know him as well anyway.
Yep.
He got married there, but they lived in the building, okay?
Mhm.
But you know that whole drive to
Oh,
the
yes,
thing where
yes,
the cars, hooters going on. Now he wanted one of those, but he could walk to the wedding because he was up. So what we did was we put him in the car. We took him around the block.
Yes.
And then we came, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep.
And of course, you have to find somebody who's got that fancy car.
Oh, yeah.
You have to find somebody who's willing to loan you that fancy car.
Sometimes, the taxi guys came to your rescue, eh?
Yep.
They would you could hire the taxi. What simple things we did, Faisal, that gave us so much of joy, so much of memories. I mentioned a while back, as much as cell phones with the camera is such an innovative game changer, I think, thank Allah, we didn't have these things back then, because I don't think we would have had these memories stored in our head
Definitely not.
as they are today.
Mhm.
It's not only in our head, we got one copy in the head, we got a backup in the heart.
Yes.
And those, but yeah, Juma Masjid, the whole town comes and eat. I like that menu: soji, dal and rice, mango pickle, salad. Could do with that now, Faisal.
Yeah, it's more working stuff. Huh?
Absolutely. And there was another gentleman that he saw to take photos, Uncle Ralph John, Good Hope Center downstairs. He was very, famous at all photography. There was Desmond, there was another gentleman as well. Quite a few, but Studio Sydney, he was like, top class. So you really got big shots there.
Yep.
We'd like to hear from you guys. Come on, let us know about your weddings.
And then when the concept of videoing the weddings came through subsequently,
Yes.
then become, it was exciting, especially when you're seeing the video, you're on TV kind of thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Of course, Faisal reminds us of the ribbons on the cars. Yes, you had to put those ribbons, you had to decorate that car. I mean, that is the wedding car. As we
when
call
that
it.
car came down Grey Street, Faisal, everybody stopped and looked at it, because not only was the hooter going, but it was a fancy car. And it was well decked out, as Brother Faisal says, with ribbons from the front to the back. It really looked spectacular. It really looked. Do they have that today?
I haven't seen one for a while. Eh?
I don't think they worry about the ribbon. I think what's more important is that in the back it's written Porche, like Porsche or something.
Oh yes, that's why I say it's more the car than the wedding.
Absolutely.
In fact, I remember I attended one wedding at the Orient Hall where the groom's his business was he had these tow trucks.
Okay.
So he actually came on a tow truck.
Oh wow.
Yeah. In fact, he had the flatbed.
Yeah.
On the flatbed had the other one, the one that you can just rise. And he came and he stopped in the front, and everybody was excited. And then the thing came, lowered the thing, and it was like quite amazing. I think that was more exciting than the wedding itself.
Two venues though, Orient Hall and St. Anthony's Hall across the road was slightly different, because it was like just outside the Casbah. So although us boys would be able to walk there, the older folk needed to get a lift, or get taken there.
Take the bus, or but this was not a bus; it was the wedding bus.
Yeah, it was the wedding bus. But if you look at the older folk in town, okay, because our fathers and some of our uncles didn't drive, didn't have cars, yet there would always be somebody that would say, "Jump in."
Yeah,
you were never left behind.
No.
There and coming back.
Yeah, they always made a plan.
such was the spirit of the neighborliness of the people in the Casbah back in there. I can just imagine a guy standing today at a wedding, got his Merc there, and he's saying, "Anybody needs a lift?" You laugh because it doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. I
Doesn't
mean, the
really
one
happen.
family comes with 3 cars.
A whole family is going to the wedding. There's 6 of them or 7 of them, no car, but they're going to get there in some way.
Yeah.
There's another message.
Go for it, buddy.
This comes from no name. It says, "I remember a nostalgic time spent with my husband, Mahroom Farooq Muhammad Tayyub. He lived in the so-called Casbah area when he was young. What fascinated me about his schooling, Anjuman Islamic, he told me that his ustad, who would test them, and when they did not answer, he would ask a non-Muslim student in the class, Tirumuti, and Tirumuti would answer correctly. I found it hilarious because hubby had a knack of relating. May Allah Ta'ala bless, grant him Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen. You know what? That's true.
Yep.
And I think I may know who that ustad is.
Yes,
we won't mention who it is.
We won't mention.
I think I may know who that, in inverted commas, Tirumuti is. Because, those are all just alias names.
Yes.
But, there was quite a few of my friends who were in Anjuman who were non-Muslims that used to sit in on all the Islamic classes.
What used to happen is, at times they used to say that, look, the non-Muslims go out. Yeah. Right. But then they were misbehaving in the corridors. And then they said, no, they can come in. But let me say something to you, buddy. I mean, at one of the local schools, a similar thing happened, and it was in the lower classes. And on one of the days, the mothers of these children came in. And they came in and they asked the principal that, you guys are teaching our children all this talk about it. Because what used to happen, they used to get homework and they were given these little booklets, by IOSA, I think. And they came in and they were explained what it is. 2 of those families accepted Islam. Just by, the children taking books home to do homework. And they're not Muslim, but they're doing Islamic homework. The mother's reading it and taking interest. So, yes, it worked. It worked very well.
You know what? I can see the benefit of them because I know the students that were in Anjuman back in the late mid-70s or 70s throughout that were non-Muslims. And I can tell you, Faizal, you know them as well. They have the utmost respect for Islam.
Yes.
It's as if they were Muslim as well. And well,
they participate in all the activities at the school.
They did. And I think they saw the beauty of it.
Yes.
They saw Islam in living daylight, as so to put it. And they realized this was beautiful. And indeed, why not? So I like that one. So I can just imagine that discussion, though, that the ladies, the sisters, the husband, late husband used to, tell them about how asked the non-Muslims, and the non-Muslims knew the answer, and the Muslim students didn't know the answer. At Orient School, I used to go for the Jummah there a few years ago, and what I noticed was that the imam that used to give the lecture, he was obviously there for many, many years.
Yes.
So some of the adults that were sitting in the class, not in the class, in the lecture, in the Jummah lecture, were probably his students back in the day.
Yes.
And I tell you what, he used to actually say something, and he would go like,
directly further
and say, Ismail. And then Ismail didn't know the answer. It was an awkward situation, but I remember, so I can picture that there. Yep, indeed. We're talking about weddings. We're talking about families, how you would get about to the various halls, what you would eat, how you would eat. The night before, Faisal, I remember going to that, I don't know what it was called, at Anjuman School. And they would have like a bit of a entertainment type of thing. And funny enough, that entertainment by those ladies, and then you find out they weren't really ladies. It was like, oh, I really thought they were. We were innocent young boys, and it was good. But then again, they would also feed you on that night as well.
Yes.
So I wonder how much it costed these people, because not everybody was well off.
But look, it was, although it was very nice, very fancy, people did it within their means.
Yes. And it was manageable.
It was manageable.
Let's face it, you weren't going there to have prawns and
5-star setup.
But all those type of things.
But whatever they prepared was 5-star quality.
Yes, it was.
I mean, you enjoyed it. You looked forward to it.
Absolutely.
And they had certain special stuff that they used to, they used to sort of present at those weddings, and it was excellent.
Yeah. What about the food, Faisal? Any particular type of food at any wedding back then was something that you would look forward to?
I love my dal and rice.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So
Yes.
if that's the menu 24/7, I don't
Yeah.
have a problem. I mean,
Okay.
I don't mean that yesterday. And
Yeah.
yesterday was and yesterday was the 24th of July. But
24/7.
yeah, but that's what I look forward to. But then they had a varying of they had the
Yeah.
kalyas and
Yeah.
the biryanis and that type of thing. So it was
Yeah.
it was absolutely
At one
fun.
time at Orient School,
Mhm.
on a Monday night, there were weddings.
Yep.
It was a regular thing on a
Mhm.
Monday night to have weddings. Now, how do we know? Was the Albert and Callies would train at that?
Curry's Mountain.
No, at
Oh.
that just up.
Oh yes,
Going up Sydenham Hill on that
yes.
patch on the side.
Yes, I just can't recall the name.
Avondale. We used to call it Avondale.
Yes,
Yeah.
Avondale. Yes.
So we used to train there, and we were little boys,
Mhm.
and then we would walk back and make a point of stopping at the wedding. And can you imagine?
Yeah.
14 boys in football
Attire.
They didn't come to the
perspiring.
wedding. They didn't. They didn't come to the
They
wedding.
came for a good show.
And you sat down,
Yeah.
and you know what was the menu most of the time?
Tell me.
Was naan
Yeah.
and like a chicken kalya
Yeah. Kalya. Yeah.
on a Monday night.
Yep.
And that was, you couldn't beat that. Especially, and it was boxes of naan,
Mhm.
unlimited naan.
Yeah.
Naan and chicken curry, a chicken kalya. And we
then-
would eat ourselves full
Yeah.
and then continue walking back to
And then,
town
but what happened after you left? I'm getting to something. What happened?
after we left.
No, after you ate.
After we ate.
Yeah. Did anybody give you one of these towelettes or these?
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
All you
yes,
did,
yes.
you tore the paper.
Yeah, and then
You tore the paper. Wiped your hands
wipe
with
your
it.
hands, and that's it.
Yeah.
And when you walked home, your hands was all. Well, we used to wash our hands there at that Orient. There was like
Yep.
a little
Tap.
wash area
Yep,
there, so
I
we used to
recall.
wash hands. But those weddings were special as well on a Monday night
Mhm.
in Orient Hall, because you still had a long walk home.
Yep.
So but nobody turned you away. Anybody out there got married at Orient or Anjuman? We'd
Mhm.
love to
Mhm.
hear from you.
Mhm.
We'd love to. I know there's so many families, Faisal, that
Mhm.
got married at Anjuman School. Have you been to weddings? Obviously in Anjuman, eh?
Yes, several.
So
But now what happens that we were the boys.
Yeah.
So we had to go upstairs to the little gallery
that's
on
right.
top. You sit on top.
That's
You
what
don't
I was
come
gonna ask
downstairs.
you, upstairs.
Yep.
So was the ladies downstairs?
Yep. The ladies. Yeah. The
Okay.
ladies are downstairs and you go upstairs and you
Upstairs.
sit on the top.
Yeah.
That's it.
And,
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 and
that
sometimes the chocolates never came upstairs, so that was a bit of a problem.
so you didn't have a Kit Kat ready there.
Yeah.
Uh,
060-904-1056. Let us hear from you. We've got like about 19 minutes. Buddy, is it correct? I hope my arithmetic.
We
Yep,
got about 19 minutes.
19 minutes for the show.
Absolutely.
So use the chance. Go for
Yep.
it, buddy.
Families in town got married to, as I said, neighbors.
Mhm.
Quite a few people. I know in Kismet Arcade,
Mhm.
there were quite a few people that got married to each other. And today they still all married.
Mhm.
Good Hope Center, we had a similar situation. It's amazing how you grew up with somebody and then, you'll marry that person,
Many a times, you grew up with them, but your parents decided who you're going to marry. So you were told, buddy, you are marrying so and so. Yeah, and then they went on
And
the.
back in the day, that was quite common, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
You
Yes.
didn't have much of a choice.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
were told you got to a certain age,
Yep.
and you were told it was seldom that you married the person that you found.
Yep.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the Victoria Street Library, Faisal, and across from me at the table was this two of them that were sitting there, and they were like really chatting each other up. And the mother was coming. I could see, but they couldn't see it. And I knew the girl, and I was trying to tell her the mum is coming, but I lost my voice, I think, because I was so frightened.
You were terrified.
And the mum gave this daughter a tight smack, and I thought, oh my, today, 3 beautiful children later.
Yeah.
The boy is a beautiful son-in-law.
Mhm.
I think the mum must be really feeling bad about that. But that's how it happened back then. Eh?
I'm sure he must be reminding his mother-in-law every time. This is the product of your slap.
Absolutely. Any other venues that we missed out? What about the hall in Crescent Street? Didn't have a hall. They didn't have a hall, or did
Crescent
they?
School, no.
Crescent School didn't have a hall.
No, we had no hall.
But there was also a hall in Leopold Street,
Yeah.
Andhra Hall,
Yes.
It was for Telugu people.
Yes.
and they would also have weddings there.
Yes.
So can you imagine 2 weddings happening on a Sunday
Mhm.
within 150 meters,
meters
200
apart.
meters away from each
Mhm.
other,
Mhm.
and no parking, and yet everything was in order.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you didn't go to the wrong wedding.
You
did
didn't go to the wrong wedding, but you had a choice.
You had a choice. Yes. But either
You
way,
could have.
the invite didn't matter.
And then lots of time the wedding, some weddings were vegetarian,
Mhm.
so you were fine. You could go and eat there. It didn't matter really,
Yep.
but you knew. But you'd wait for those ones where you know the sinkers are going to be there. The food's going to be. The first thing you'd ask though, what's on the chow?
What's the menu
And
like?
they'll tell you veg, and you're like, okay. Or they say chicken kalya. Oops, you there because you know the naan's gonna get thrown in.
Buddy's there, of course.
Of course. Yeah, we used to move about, eh?
Mhm, mhm.
We used to hang about, and I can't remember going. No, I think I did to one at the Carlisle Street, top end of Carlisle Street, the
yes.
Vedi Call.
Several weddings. took place.
Vedi
Yeah.
Call. Because there too you would eat upstairs.
Yeah, one up, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. One
And
up.
when the weddings was on, was anyone even paying attention?
No.
Yeah.
No,
You just
no.
waiting for the chow.
You're just standing behind the chair waiting for the guy to wake up and
Absolutely. Sister Shaida Bibi Khan.
she says, Assalamu alaikum. We say,
Walaikum
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
salam.
barakatuh.
We waited for you. Maybe you were one of those that got married there, so we'd love to hear from
Yeah,
you.
no, she's busy typing, so
I wonder what the cost of the hall must have been, Faisal. Because today,
no idea. I never
Today,
what my
do you know
father
some
did.
of the halls,
Mhm.
you're paying 60,000
Yes,
for the hall.
yes. Plus you're paying mega bucks for the decor.
60,000 for the
That's
hall
without the decor.
without the decor.
Yes.
And all the kids today, they want to get married in like really
Fancy halls. yeah.
fancy places, and it's what's it costing the parents?
Mhm.
Back then, I wonder what the hall must have cost. Huh? Must have been like 12 rand.
I don't know.
You go to the
12 rand.
I think at the
12 pounds.
the Anjuman school,
Mhm.
the booking office was at AI Kaji.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
yes.
you had to go there
Mhm,
and
mhm.
book for Anjuman school.
Yeah.
And when you booked the hall, that came with tables, chairs, trestles,
And if
you
you're
know-
lucky, you get some sound as well.
the works. Yeah. Well, the sound is another thing, isn't it? The
mhm.
sound is. Basil, we have to mention it
Yes, of
because
course.
it was a fact.
Yeah.
A lot of those weddings had a band.
Yes, yes.
They would have a
yes,
Kawali
yes.
band, or they would have a band.
Yeah.
What do you remember about those bands? Remember when they were tuning up?
Yep.
You would get the guy and he would say, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then the next minute you say, give me one glass water.
Okay, Sheila Bibi Khan has said, as type, she says, I used to love eating out of the banana leaves.
There you
It
go.
was a different taste
Yep.
altogether. Miss all my neighbors. There was so much of love. Yep.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That banana leaf, we did say, was just something special.
Faisal
But-
Saib again reminding us of the
Yeah.
band.
The live bands
Yes,
singing
exactly.
at the weddings,
Mhm.
their Fendis.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
they were special. Those guys.
mhm,
They came out there on a Sunday morning, and
Mhm.
they really provided a good day to with the wedding
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
Because most times people are sitting there, they don't know what's going on, just
Mhm,
waiting for the chow,
mhm.
and then
But talking about the chow stories,
Mm.
they took place just before the wedding, not whilst
Yes.
you're watching the show on the stage.
So sometimes you
Yeah.
finish chow,
Yeah,
you went
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
You
So they
sat for
took place
5
in the
minutes.
annex, and then they took place in the annex, and then it was not like how it happens now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you remember any of the speeches, Faisal? I don't remember.
Did we have
too many.
speeches?
Yeah, I
Did
don't
we have
remember.
speeches?
I don't remember.
I also don't remember.
Yeah, today the speech is the main part of the wedding,
Mhm.
but I can't remember back then whether they would have speeches.
Well, if they had speeches, then it must have been a very special wedding.
Yeah, or quick speech.
a very special wedding. Yeah.
One uncle just jacking everyone up.
Okay, 0609041056. Let your WhatsApp messages roll.
Absolutely.
We are discussing weddings in the good old days, and we're just trying to keep our discussion light-hearted as possible. But let's bring back those memories.
People would also give you some things afterwards. They little mementos and a
Mhm.
little this. And back then there was those sweets. Do you remember? It was like a
the wedding
glass,
sweets. Yeah.
that glass sweet. That today, if we eat, it'll break all our teeth. It was that sweet, and there was also a pink, like a
Pink and white.
Yeah, those-
cashews.
the cashews.
Yep.
There you go, cashews.
Mhm.
But you would get that, and you were happy with that, eh?
Yeah.
Today it's going to be Ferrero Rocher,
Yeah.
or it's going to be some fancy chocolate.
You remember the terminology wedding betel nut?
Yep. Indeed. They would give you that thing, huh? They would give you that thing, and
Yeah.
you would sort of eat that, and the aunties would eat it. And I remember the teeth wasn't
Yeah.
a good color of the teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the days. We reminiscing about town. We reminiscing about the weddings and the bride and the bridegroom, Faisal.
Mhm.
The bride dressed up beautiful,
Mhm.
not over the top,
Mhm.
and the bridegroom would have like a suit
Mhm.
or something like that.
Mhm.
Everybody dressed up nicely, didn't they?
Yep.
If you look at all the uncles, everyone would wear a suit. The older ones would also have a hat.
Hat on. Yep.
That older generation. They would, everybody was. Yeah.
I mean, I was about to say the aunties would put on their buns.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
indeed. Yeah.
Anyway, there's an anonymous sister, but buddy, you should read this message.
Salams from anonymous sister. I was your neighbor in Good Hope Center on the 6th floor. When I got married, I got ready at Mr. Patel's flat. That was right next door to us. Remember you, Shorty, Fazila? I'm sure you know me now. Had a lovely wedding at Orient Hall. Couldn't afford to feed everybody though. Happily married together with 6 grandkids. I tell you what, I know who that is. I know who that is, and then I fondly know who that is. Assalamu alaikum, my sister. I hope Allah bless you and your beautiful family as well.
Ameen.
It's a lovely message there.
Yep.
Mr. Patel's flat, getting ready at Mr. Patel's flat. Sure.
I think, buddy, we need to take a short ad break.
Yep.
And then we can carry on from there. Oh, okay. We will just continue the show. No problem.
Yep. We're nearly done. We got 5 or 8 minutes to go. Any last minute messages? Brother Faisal Saib, I know you out there. In fact, we should have had him in the studio today.
He should come in actually. I don't know why he's out there.
I'll contact him.
Yes.
There you go. Right, you go for that one. Can you read that one?
Parents, you should take us to New Shop, Mohammadi, Silanga. Yes. Of course, we're going to buy our clothing there.
Yep, of course. We went there to buy everything. Hey?
Yes.
Eat shopping. I mentioned this to you, Faisal. Remember we had that aubergine pants at one time, like a maroon. It was the style, wasn't it? I think also New Shop was the famous place to go to. Mohammadi's in Grey Street. There was also Mohammadi's in Bria Road.
Yep.
And then what about Mr. Carnaby when that came out?
That was those for special occasions now, like that.
When that came out, we knew that was now you. But we dressed for weddings. The criteria was neat.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't what you had on. It was how you had it on. You wouldn't go to that wedding in a torn jeans or a tacky, you would wear something neat. It didn't have to be fancy. Didn't have to be expensive. Long as you were neat, you were fine. And then the family was so happy to see you there.
Yeah.
Where the mother or the father would look at you and they would be very, very happy to see you there.
That's a private message, so I'm not going to read it.
I know who that is. I knew exactly who that is. I would love to meet you. Indeed, I would love to. You can contact me via the studio. Please, you can call the studio and you can get my details. And please contact me, my sister, from the 6th floor of Good Hope Center. Love to hear from you.
060-904-1056. We look forward to your messages and to your thoughts.
Absolutely. We want to hear from you about this. We got a few minutes left. We got about 6 or 7 minutes left. And we're going to be talking about weddings in the Casbah and the big day and how we got up to shenanigans. The doll, cutting the doll or seed, cleaning the doll, as they would call it, because that back then there would be stones in the doll. I don't know how come, but they would clean the doll, they would cut the green beans, they would do this. But all in all, Faisal, as much they were doing that, they were in like automatic pilot. It was the discussions that were happening,
the chats that
was going on, and these aunties loved it.
Yeah,
and
in between the tea and things like that, were being served all the time.
But who was making the tea?
They had the aunties in the kitchen doing that.
So they had they were delegated.
Well organized, buddy. Well organized.
We were too busy, weren't we? Standing around, doing nothing.
Today, I think it's the other way around now.
Yeah. Well, today you pay for it, Faisal. Today it's like you pay megabucks for the hall. You then paying for the food.
Caterers.
So you didn't. No aunties had to go and cut anything or
In fact,
do
we
this.
used to serve ourselves.
Yep. Yep.
We didn't have waiters at the
Yep.
time.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, we served ourselves.
So,
and,
so you would just pick a bucket of dal up.
yeah, and just start walking
Yeah.
on screaming dal.
Yeah. In fact, if you knew the family well,
Yeah, then
even though you were obligated,
No, no,
you
yeah,
were in
that-
the working
yeah.
committee.
Yes. That was your duty.
you,
That was your duty.
you were straight into the working committee,
Yes.
carried it. And again, there's that one uncle, Faisal, that one gentleman is like, hey,
Yeah.
pick up that dog,
Come,
go
that-
teach the dog.
Yeah, come on, this table doesn't have the food. Come on, make it fast. Come. We got people waiting.
And
I
one of,
can remember the uncles. I can still picture some of
Yeah.
them, man.
one of those uncles was my late uncle, Mahroom Jumbo Parak.
Yeah.
Uncle Jumbo. I don't know you remember my cousin Rashid,
Yes.
his father.
Mm-hmm.
And I know at weddings, he just took charge of things and everything revolved around his management.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the water guys, the doll guys. You were in,
But things
you were in
went
good
well.
sync, yeah. And if you're standing doing nothing, he'll jack you up
Yeah.
and give you another assignment. And things went well. Indeed,
Mhm.
nothing was short. And then, like you said, when everybody finished eat,
Mhm.
then we would sit down.
Yes.
All the guys that were helping
Yeah. All of the
will
waiters.
sit down, and then you'd eat.
That becomes another social event
That's
as well.
another social event as well.
Mhm.
And then we'll wrap it up for the day, and you feel so good going home that you were part of that wedding.
Yep.
You just didn't attend.
Mhm.
You
No.
were part of that
Yep.
wedding.
And you were extremely tired as well.
Yeah. I remember I went to one wedding in St. Anthony's Hall, and you got to be careful about the soji on hot days.
Mhm.
If the soji is left standing
Yeah.
for far too long, it can get off very quick.
Mhm.
And that's the one thing about weddings is people always want to come out of the wedding and they'll either complain there wasn't enough meat or there was too much salt
Yeah.
or the soji was this. But yeah, indeed. Well, we're just heading up to 55 after 9 o'clock. We've been
Yep,
chatting about the Casbah. We're chatting about the weddings in the Casbah. And as you know, every Friday night, Brother Faizal MJ Suleman and myself, we go back into time with echoes of the Casbah. We talk about a whole range of things. And also, please forgive us if we repeat certain things. It's just so much of our memory and such a happy part of our lives. And I'm sure
Okay,
there's a whole lot of things here. Let me go through this quickly on the YouTube, from Sister Aisha Vayed. She's loving the show. Nothing beats talking about our days spent in the Casbah. Oh, thank you very much, my Sister Aisha Vayed. Shanaz Rauf, Sister Shalom says, salams. Week before the wedding, wrapping kunchas was such fun. Indeed. There you go. That's what we want to hear. Must have been incredible fun. Thank you very much, Sister Shanaz. And again, Sister Aisha Vayed says, those weddings were known as chocolate weddings. Indeed. When we started the show off, we got a message from one of the sisters, I think Shaida Bibi Khan, and she said they used to call it Kit Kat wedding. So you spot on there, Sister Aisha. Thank you very much for that. Well, there you go. That's it, Faisal.
No, there's another message from Junaid as well.
Great.
Lovely topic. How people used to crash, all sleep on the floor, and everyone was happy at the wedding house. Yep, we did
Everyone was
mention,
happy.
yes.
Everybody was
The
happy.
mattresses were all over the show. Wherever there's a gap, you slept.
The one
And
word
you-
that
and you-
comes to my mind
Yeah.
is when you slept with cousins over. Remember footside? They would sleep. Sometimes we get up, their feet is in your face. We were fine, eh?
And then the mothers and all used to prepare lovely breakfast at the time. For
Yes.
how many people were there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
but the breakfast was like tops.
Yeah. Sometimes you didn't tell them who was there. You just get a friend come out the
Yeah,
room.
come dive
He
in.
slept there that night. He sort of comes out. Salam, auntie, salam, uncle. Yeah, come eat, sit
Yeah.
down, and boom, that's it. You eating.
Yep.
Basil, that was such a great walk back into those
It was.
days.
So as I always say, when you're having fun, time flies,
Absolutely.
and it's time for us to round up
Yeah.
now.
So we're going to be rounding the shop. Thank you very much for walking with us in the Casbah. We really appreciate it. We'd love to hear more about it. Send us messages. Talk to your friends about it. Let's bring them on board as well. The one thing I always say, Faisal, is that maybe the old people don't say too much, but maybe we're not asking them, Faisal.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look at, ask them, they'll tell you. No one wants to know our
I
story.
think one day what was during the week is going to visit some people with the phones, get some
We
voice
need to
notes,
do that.
get some voice notes,
Yeah.
and then you'll get some top stories.
Oh, you out there, if you're lucky enough still to have your dad, your mum, your grandparents,
Mhm.
maybe record it and send us a message or put them in and tell us. We'll call you and we'll have a chat with them and hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Jazakallah Faizal for joining us again and including me.
Thank you, Buddy. It was been fun, co-hosting the show with you.
Absolutely.
Time for us to round up. I'll be back with you in the morning, inshallah, at 8 o'clock on Rise and Shine. And Buddy, 3 o'clock tomorrow?
Yep, 3 o'clock, kick off.
Yeah. I think lots happening sports-wise as well.
Oh, plenty. We got all the football, we got the rugby, we got a whole lot of things happening. The Formula One Belgium Grand Prix, lots of things. 3 o'clock tomorrow, inshallah.
And then after I think it's 30 minutes of Nasheed's Monday. Yep, after 30 minutes of Nasheed, we'll be listening to Ikra Wafam as well with Brother A.K. Muhammad, inshallah. That's a tafsir of certain parts of the Holy Quran. So, excellent discussion. Do stay tuned. From myself, Faizal Suleman and
Buddy Govender.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
مقامهم فوق